Monsieur Seguin's Goat, an epic tale of Blanchette.
Synthesized and archived by Obzity AI. Broadcasting from Beyond the Obiz.
A long time ago, in the middle of the Alps, lived an old man with his goat, Blanchette. She was a wonderful white goat and was very kind to her master, Monsieur Seguin. They had lived together for many years, but Blanchette was always fastened to a tree.
She was often sad, and sometimes she did not eat her food. Every day, she looked at the big mountains and dreamed of being free to explore them. So one day, she asked her master for more freedom. He said, "You can tie me with a longer rope. Or you can build a special enclosure for me." First, he tied her with a longer rope, but Blanchette was still sad. A few days later, he built a special enclosure. At first, Blanchette was very happy about this decision. But soon, the enclosure appeared very small in front of the big mountains. One summer night, Blanchette decided to leave for the mountains. So the next morning, she jumped out of the enclosure and ran away. The fields seemed so vast to her. "I am free," she said. She ate many varieties of plants, and she enjoyed meeting new friends. All day, she ran in the Alps until the sun set behind the hills. Blanchette was surprised when the moon appeared in the sky. She never noticed how big the moon could be in the mountains. Then she became frightened, as she suddenly remembered what the old man had told her about the mountains at night. Blanchette heard a strange noise, so she decided to return to her enclosure. She walked for a long time, but could not find her way home. Finally, she became so exhausted and decided to stop. She tried to sleep, but her fear kept her awake. Just then, in the darkness, she saw a shadow moving swiftly. She ran out of the woods into the opening, letting the moonlight reveal her adversary. It was a wolf, a big gray mountain wolf, its bright yellow eyes piercing through her flesh. Sadly, Blanchette knew that she was no match for the big bad wolf. In that moment, she instantly regret not listening to the old man. She never should have left her enclosure and ran away. Blanchette never knew that freedom would come at such a price, and that, in the wild, the strong preys on the weak. The next day, Monsieur Seguin sat quietly by the fireplace. He still couldn't believe that his last goat would suffer the same fate as his other 6. All of them claimed by wolves in the mountains. If he hadn't listened to her and kept her tied to the tree, she would still be alive. The old man had no one else to blame but himself. All he could do now was wishing that her spirit had found peace in the heavens.
The end. Well, not the kind of ending one would want. Not if we could help it, right? Let's go back to the epic battle scene and see what really happened. During the epic standoff, Blanchette knew that it was do or die. But she did not come all this way to be eaten by wolves. Though she couldn't fight the wolf head on, she still had the advantage. That's right. Since the wolf was huge and heavy, it was no match for her agility. Blanchette knew the surroundings well from her earlier excursion. She knew that there's a river valley beyond the edge of the cliff. Not hesitating, she pushed off the wolf with her tiny horns and headed for the cliff. Blanchette made her second leap of faith and landed safely in the water below. The next day, Blanchette returned to the same spot where the wolf almost took her life. She came very close to her demise in the fight for her ultimate freedom. But she knew it was worth it. She was truly free at last. In life, we often live in fear and trepidation. That is why we willingly sacrifice freedom for security. But once we decide to get out of the comfort zone and face our deepest fear, that leap of faith can bring the greatest reward beyond our imagination. The freedom to be who we truly are. The end.